The foundation of all lasting success begins with a clear, definite purpose. This means knowing exactly what you want to achieve and being unwavering in your commitment to it. Most people move through life with vague desires, uncertain plans, and scattered attention. They hope for success, but they never define what that success looks like. As a result, their actions lack focus, and their results reflect that confusion. In contrast, individuals who attain remarkable success always begin with a singular, clearly defined goal. This is not simply wishful thinking or daydreaming. It's a deliberate mental decision to pursue something specific with complete clarity. When we talk about definiteness of purpose, we mean having a central aim that becomes the full organizing principle of your life. It becomes the filter through which decisions are made, opportunities are evaluated against it, time and energy are allocated in alignment with it. Without this clarity, even the most talented people can waste years wandering in unproductive directions. But once a person identifies their definite purpose, every part of their life begins to fall into place around it. Think of your purpose as the compass that guides your journey. If you don't know where you're going, any path will do, and that's the problem. A definite purpose gives direction. It turns effort into progress and work into meaningful achievement. When a person knows what they want, even if they face difficulties, they persist with greater strength. Challenges feel smaller when you are deeply committed to something greater than yourself. One of the most powerful aspects of having a definite purpose is the effect it has on decision making. So many people feel overwhelmed because they are constantly unsure about what to do next. But when you know your purpose, choices become simpler. You evaluate each option by asking, does this move me closer to my goal? If the answer is no, you discard it. This reduces wasted time and mental fatigue, allowing for greater concentration and efficiency. And another educational value of definiteness is how it strengthens personal identity. It provides a sense of direction and mission that inspires discipline. Discipline is not just about controlling impulses, it's about aligning your behavior with what truly matters to you. A person who is deeply connected to a definite purpose naturally becomes more self-disciplined because they know what is at stake. They are less likely to be distracted or discouraged because they are working towards something that resonates with their deepest values and aspirations. In an educational setting, this concept has special relevance. Students who know why they are studying and what they aim to achieve are much more motivated than those who are simply going through the motions. The same applies to professionals. Employees and entrepreneurs who have a clear personal vision often outperform their peers, not because they are more skilled, but because they are more focused and driven by a clearly defined mission. They are proactive instead of reactive, strategic instead of scattered. It's important to understand that definiteness of purpose is not a one-time realization. It is a habit of mind. It must be revisited, refined, and reinforced regularly. Life brings distractions, setbacks, and competing priorities. Without consistent reflection, it's easy to drift. That's why successful individuals frequently review their goals and realign their actions. They write down their purpose, visualize it, speak it aloud, and internalize it until it becomes part of who they are. Definiteness also enhances creativity. When the mind is not cluttered with indecision or confusion, it has the freedom to imagine new solutions, take calculated risks, and innovate in ways that serve the central goal. Clarity of purpose narrows your focus, but it doesn't limit your possibilities. It amplifies them by removing noise and creating mental space for inspired thought. One common mistake people make is trying to pursue too many goals at once. While it's natural to have multiple interests, spreading your energy too thin often leads to frustration and mediocrity. The educational value here is learning to prioritize. Identify the one objective that, if achieved, would have the greatest positive impact on your life. Focus on that. Once it's accomplished or well underway, you can expand your scope. But never sacrifice depth for breadth when it comes to purpose. Ultimately, the lesson is clear. Success is not accidental. It begins with a decision, a clear, firm, unwavering decision about what you truly want in life. That decision becomes the foundation of a definite purpose, and that purpose becomes your roadmap to meaningful achievement. Whether you're a student, professional, entrepreneur, or artist, the moment you define your purpose with precision is the moment you begin to unlock your full potential. Belief is the invisible force that shapes your reality. More than just a positive attitude, belief is a deep inner conviction that you are capable of achieving your goal. Without belief, even the most carefully constructed plans fall apart. With it, even the most uncertain paths can become journeys of success. The power of belief lies in its ability to activate the human mind toward consistent, focused action. When you believe in a goal and in your ability to reach it, you begin to behave in ways that align with that outcome. This is where true transformation begins. Belief is the psychological foundation on which every meaningful achievement rests. If a person doubts themselves, their actions reflect hesitation, fear, and inconsistency. They procrastinate, give up easily, and shrink from challenges. But if they believe they are capable, something changes. Their posture changes, their energy changes. They speak, act, and plan with confidence. This isn't magic, it's mental alignment. The brain takes cues from your belief system. If you believe something is possible, your brain starts looking for ways to make it happen. If you believe something is impossible, the mind will accept defeat before the first step is even taken. From an educational perspective, belief is especially important because it directly affects learning. Students who believe they can master a subject are more likely to engage with it deeply, ask better questions, and persist through difficulty. The same applies in professional settings. Employees who believe they can grow and succeed in their roles are more likely to take initiative, seek out development opportunities, and push past barriers. Belief creates a cycle of positive reinforcements. You act with confidence, which produces better results, which in turn strengthens your belief even further. Importantly, belief is not something you are born with. It can be developed. Many people assume that belief only comes after they see proof or results, but the opposite is true. Belief must often come before results appear. You have to develop a mindset of faith in your potential before the world reflects it back to you. This is where many people give up too soon. They are waiting for external validation instead of nurturing internal conviction. The lesson here is that belief is a choice. It's a mental habit that can be built over time through repetition, affirmation, and small wins. One of the most effective ways to cultivate belief is through visualization. When you consistently imagine yourself achieving your goal, succeeding in your task, or overcoming your challenge, your subconscious begins to accept it as a possibility. This mental rehearsal creates a blueprint in the mind, and your behavior starts to align with that image. Visualization isn't just daydreaming, it's a tool for mental programming. Athletes, performers, and top professionals often use it to sharpen their performance and maintain motivation. You can do the same regardless of your field. Another powerful method for building belief is through language. The words you use to describe yourself and your circumstances matter. Saying, "I'm terrible at this," or "I'll never succeed," conditions your mind to expect failure. On the other hand, statements like, I'm improving every day, or I'm capable of. Learning anything I commit to reinforce belief. Over time, these verbal cues create new mental pathways that support confidence and resilience. From an educational standpoint, this is a critical practice. Teachers, mentors, and leaders should model empowering language and help others replace limiting beliefs with constructive ones. The influence of belief also extends to how we respond to setbacks. People with strong belief systems view failure as temporary and educational, not permanent or personal. They treat mistakes as part of the growth process. They analyze what went wrong, make adjustments, and try again. This mindset is often the difference between those who succeed and those who quit. It's not that successful people never experience doubt, they do, but they don't let it define them. Their belief in the end goal is stronger than the pain of any temporary defeat. It's also important to understand that belief is contagious. When you surround yourself with people who believe in you, who hold high expectations for your potential, your own confidence grows. This is why peer groups, mentors, and positive environments matter so much. If you consistently hear messages that reinforce your ability to succeed, you begin to internalize them. Educational institutions and work cultures thrive when belief is embedded in the environment. To conclude, belief is not wishful thinking. It is a fundamental force in shaping your future. It influences how you think, how you act, and how you react. It determines how much effort you give, how long you persist, and how you interpret your journey. When belief in yourself becomes stronger than the fear of failure, there is very little you cannot achieve. Whether in learning, career, or life itself, the power of belief is one of your greatest assets. Nurture it, protect it, and watch how your world begins to change. Success, no matter the field, is rarely achieved on the first attempt. One of the most critical traits that separates high achievers from everyone else is persistence, the ability to keep going in the face of failure, setbacks, and repeated challenges. Persistence is not just about trying again and again blindly. It's about learning, adjusting, and growing stronger with each effort, even when progress seems slow or invisible. In the context of education and personal development, persistence is a skill just like any other. It can be studied, practiced, and strengthened. The world tends to celebrate overnight success, but what people often don't see is the years of consistent effort, failures, and resilience that lead up to those victories. Persistence is the quiet force behind the themes that keeps people moving forward when motivation fades and results are delayed. One of the first lessons we must understand is that failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of the process. Every failure teaches a lesson, reveals a weakness, exposes a strategy that doesn't work, or brings you one step closer to clarity. When viewed this way, failure becomes feedback, not a dead end, but a signal to refine your approach. Those who persist are those who have trained themselves to interpret failure as temporary and informative, not permanent and personal. Educational systems sometimes unintentionally discourage persistence by rewarding only correct answers, fast learners, or straight paths to success. But real growth happens in the struggle. Struggle builds problem-solving skills, emotional resilience, and adaptability. When students or professionals embrace the idea that challenges are valuable and setbacks are natural, they are more likely to persevere. This mindset transforms difficulty from something to avoid into something to engage with intentionally. The value of persistence is especially evident in long-term goals. Whether you're mastering a subject, building a career, starting a business, or developing a new skill, there will always be moments of doubt. There will be times when the path is unclear, when progress is slower than expected, or when outside circumstances make it harder to continue. It's in these moments that persistence is tested and also where it's most needed. Persistence does not mean stubbornness or refusing to change. It means staying committed to the end goal while being flexible in your methods. If a strategy isn't working, the persistent person doesn't quit. They pivot. They ask better questions, seek feedback, and try a new approach. This balance of determination and adaptability is what makes persistence powerful. It's not about doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. It's about doing something consistently while improving every step of the way. And another educational benefit of persistence is that it builds confidence through experience. Each time you overcome a difficult challenge or bounce back from a failure, you prove to yourself that you're capable. That proof becomes part of your internal identity. You begin to see yourself not as someone who gives up, but as someone who grows through adversity. This self-pidget fuels even more resilience in the future. It becomes a cycle of strength, perseverance, also develops patience, which is increasingly rare in a world of instant gratification. Lasting success rarely comes quickly. It demands long hours, uncomfortable effort, and delayed rewards. Persistent individuals understand this and choose the long game. They keep showing up, doing the work, and refining their craft even when the recognition or reward hasn't arrived yet. They plant seeds and tend to them faithfully, trusting that growth will happen over time. History and real life are full of examples of persistence leading to breakthrough. Innovators, artists, athletes, and entrepreneurs who changed the world often experienced dozens, even hundreds of failures before reaching their goals. What they all had in common was the refusal to quit. They believed that failure was part of the process, not a reason to stop. This is an educational principle worth remembering. The difference between success and failure is often not talent or resources, it's endurance. In summary, persistence is the bridge between intention and result. It's the discipline to stay committed when others would quit, to rise after falling, and to continue moving forward even when progress is not immediately visible. It's what allows a student to master a difficult concept, an entrepreneur to keep building after multiple failed attempts, and an individual to grow into their full potential. Persistence is not something reserved for the few. It is a trait anyone can develop. And once it becomes part of your character, there is very little that can stop you. Definiteness of purpose is the cornerstone of all significant achievement. It means having a clear, specific goal that guides your thoughts, decisions. Without it, even the most talented individuals can drift aimlessly, distracted by short-term rewards or overwhelmed by the sheer number of choices available. But when someone has a well-defined purpose, they gain direction, energy, and a deep sense of motivation that pulls them forward even when challenges arise. In education and personal development, the value of having a definite purpose cannot be overstated. Purpose brings clarity. It helps you cut through the noise and focus on what really matters. When you know exactly what you're aiming for, you're able to evaluate your actions more effectively. You can ask, is this moving me closer to my goal? And make adjustments accordingly. Without a central purpose, effort becomes scattered and progress slows. Let's take a practical example. Imagine two students entering university. One has a clear purpose to become a software engineer specializing in artificial intelligence. The other just wants a degree because it's the expected path. Over time, the first student is more likely to stay engaged, seek out the right mentors, take relevant courses, and pursue internships that align with their goals. The second may wander from major to major, unsure of what fits them, potentially losing time and motivation. The difference isn't talent, it's direction. Definiteness of purpose also brings a deeper emotional engagement to learning. When people are connected to a meaningful goal, they are more likely to persist through difficulty, find creative solutions to obstacles, and experience personal fulfillment. They don't just go through the motions, they move with intention. This type of focus creates momentum. Small wins lead to bigger ones, and progress becomes self-reinforcing. One of the most powerful benefits of definiteness of purpose is that it simplifies decision making. Life constantly presents us with choices. Without a clear purpose, many of those decisions feel overwhelming. But with purpose, you gain a kind of internal compass. You're able to say yes to what aligns and confidently say no to what doesn't. This doesn't just improve productivity, it reduces stress and anxiety because you're no longer paralyzed by indecision or chasing every shiny opportunity. Educational institutions can foster this trait by helping students explore their interests deeply and encouraging them to set meaningful goals early. When learners are taught to ask themselves why they're pursuing a subject, not just how to pass it, they become more invested in their growth. The same is true in professional environments. Leaders who help their teams connect daily tasks to a larger mission cultivate more driven, focused, and loyal individuals. Having a definite purpose does not mean you never adjust your goals. Life is full of surprises and new information. But it does mean that at every stage of your journey, you have a central aim, a guiding star. You may revise your path, but your purpose continues to give you direction and momentum. In fact, flexibility becomes more powerful when it's anchored to a purpose. Without purpose, flexibility turns into distraction. With it, it becomes strategy. This concept is especially important in today's world, where distractions are constant and paths to success are more complex than ever. The people who rise above noise and confusion are those who know where they're going. They are not immune to setbacks, but they are grounded by their purpose. When faced with a challenge, they don't wonder whether they should continue. They ask how to continue better. This mindset saves time, conserves energy, and builds resilience. Definiteness of purpose also helps attract support. When you're clear about what you want, others can see your vision more easily and offer assistance. Whether it's a mentor, investor, teacher, or collaborator, people are more willing to help when they sense that you are serious and focused. Vague ambitions don't inspire confidence, but clear, committed purpose does. It signals leadership, clarity, and drive. In summary, definiteness of purpose is not just a motivational idea. It is a powerful educational principle. It transforms effort into results, learning into mastery, and dreams into plans. It gives your energy a destination and your life a direction. Without it, success is left to chance. With it, you take control of your journey. Whether you're a student, a professional, or someone simply working toward a better version of yourself, clarity of purpose is the first step, and often the most important one, on the road to lasting achievement.